Hi educators, have you ever walked inside your classroom and your classroom was very boring and dull? Or your students weren't responsive the way you wanted them to be? I have the perfect solution for you. What you can do to make sure that your classroom is engaging is to include role-playing inside of your classroom. But what exactly is role-playing? Role-playing is when you allow your students to play the role of someone else, or they can stay who they are, but put themselves in an imaginary situation. So ask yourself, what should I do or what can I do to make sure that role-playing is effectively done in my classroom? Well, I have 6 steps for you. Step number 1 is always to have an objective. What is it that you want your students to learn? Where are you going to get this content from? How are they going to apply what they're learning in role-playing to the real life? So always make sure you have your objective in mind. Number 2, you need to make sure you assign the roles appropriately. Now, you either can assign the roles to your students based on the content that you guys have covered, or you can allow them to pick the roles in which they want to play. Step number 3, introduce the lesson. Let the students know that they're about to role play. Let them know that they have specific roles. Let them know that this is something that is very important and that it is up to them to get the content across to their classmates. Step number 4, give the students time to prepare to role play. This can be done in 30 minutes or it can be a take-home assignment, depending on how you want your students to give the message across. Now, if you're giving your students, for example, to play the role of a scientist, but they're only in 6th grade, they don't know anything about being a scientist, that will be when you allow your students to take home the work, do some research, and bring it back. So again, when you are preparing your students to role play, make sure you give the appropriate allotted time. Step number 5. Let them act. Allow them to engage and have fun within a classroom, but keeping it under a classroom management plan. Step number 6. This is where the discussion comes into play. You allow your kids, after all of the role playing is done, you step back and you ask your students, well, what did you learn from role playing? How are you going to incorporate this in your daily life? And that's about it. Have any questions? Let me know. Good luck.